should all have the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd like to move on to the approval of minutes.
Okay. Rick Burns read through them, and I think that they are good to go. So we want to move forward.
Yes. Moving on to the correspondence. This is Mark Richardson, 815 North, 450 West, Valparaiso, Indiana. It's case number DV-2024-67. This is to allow an increase in maximum floor area of a proposed 1,280 square foot addition to an existing 1,600 square foot pole barn to be used for the woodworking hobby. And this shows that this is continued until July 18th.
We did receive a letter from the attorney. This is going to be heard on July 18th, 2024. Petitioner could make it.
Okay. Moving on to old business, we have case number DV-2024-23, George Cortez, 554 North, 212 West, Valparaiso, Indiana. This is a rural residential to allow a 236 square foot increase in maximum floor area for a proposed 14 by 24 shed intended for personal use.
This was continued. Rick Burns went and visited the site and didn't find any issues. So you guys are fine moving forward.
Okay, thank you.
So it's all been approved.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Oh, okay. Right now, I'm going to read before we move on to new business, I'm going to read the rules of conduct. At a public hearing before the board, the petitioner or proponent shall first present the facts and arguments in support of the case. Those who oppose the petitioner shall follow. The petitioner shall have a rebuttal time at the conclusion of those opposing petitions. The opposed shall then be allowed a total of 10 minutes to rebut any of the statements made by the petitioner in this rebuttal. It should be written the discretion of the board to impose any time limitations on either the petitioner or the respondent, and to limit public comment to those determined by the state statute to be interested parties. Written remonstrance shall be accepted by the board, but need not be read into the board's record. This then concludes the public hearing. To maintain orderly procedure, each side shall proceed without interruption by others. All materials present by the petitioner or by the remonstrants are supporters to the petition, including photographs, shall be property of the board and part of the record. Now we will move on to new business. Our first case is case number DV-2024-25, Northwest Indiana Auto Finance, 401 US Highway 6, Valparaiso, 0.97 acres to allow a structure to be built on a parcel less than the required 5 acres in the zoning. Please state your name and address.
My name is Adam McAlpine. I live at 398 East, 400 North in Valparaiso. And I'm here on behalf of attorney Adam Swarden, who is the applicant for this case for the property owner. The petition before you today is to construct an accessory structure at the west end of the property, approximately 24 feet wide, 30 feet deep, 12 feet high, and it would be the Unified Development Ordinance does not allow for accessory structures without a variance. The purpose for the structure is to provide exterior storage to more or less clean up the site, but I'm told also when at this particular property, when they receive certain automobiles that they want to keep out of the elements as before they take them in for repair, they would use this structure to do that. And so it's here for your review and consideration. The dimensions, if they're less than favorable, can move to further into the property or further to the east. I think where it's shown now on the site plan is generally, it's off of the property, is a fair distance.
And this is already it's a used car area.
That is correct.
With this being a public hearing, is anybody here that is opposed to this? Opposed? Is anybody here that is in favor for it? At this time, we'll close the public hearing.
And what size is the structure they want to build on there?
24 by 30,
And this isn't a two addition, this is a separate structure.
is separate standalone prefabricated metal building,
And then what was the height again? I'm sorry.
12 feet high.
What is 12? Okay. All right, at this time, I'll go ahead and move to approve this, but I believe you may need to submit to the development plan, is that correct?
Yeah, I'll still go through TRC for development plan review.
So we'll need to go through that for review, but at this time, you're good.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. At this time, I'd like to move on to case number DV-2024-27, Mary O'Brien and Todd Leith, 2556 South State Road 2, Valparaiso, Indiana, in Center Township. This is a rural one, low-density, single-family residential district to allow for a proposed two-lot subdivision and to vary from the following: eliminate sidewalk requirements, an extension of time to build a new residential home for the required 2 years to 4 years, an existing accessory structure to remain on the parcel no later than July 1st, 2026. I'll send it over to you.
Good afternoon. My name's Todd Leith. I'm here on behalf of the petitioner, Mary O'Brien. Mary joins us. She's in the back and happy to help us present to you our request for a couple variances, 3 variances. Adam McAlpine is our project engineer on this minor subdivision. This has been a bit of an ordeal. We were here in March of 23, received some variances, and I'll explain. The ultimate goal I provided to you is a couple slides from that, excuse me, that BZA meeting back in March of 23. We're simply trying to subdivide a large parcel, a little over 25 acres, that's shown on the screen. I've given you a slide out of that earlier request where I show the large lot 1, and then on Highway 2 is the old existing farm home on lot 2. So when we're done, when we get this all subdivided, lot 1 will be just under 24 acres, and lot 2 will be about 1.4 acres in round numbers. We were here earlier and received a setback variance for the home on Highway 2 and a variance for the accessory structure that's going to remain on the property off of the county road. The second page that I gave you in the handout shows you some of the structures that are there now. 2 are going to be removed, and 2 will remain, 1 temporarily. The barn will remain. That will actually be on lot 1 and is in the front yard. So that was one of the variances that we received. And then the home on lot 2 will stay until such time as we rebuild a new home that will comply with the setback at that time. So our requests today After going through some review process and so forth, engineering, we've identified other variances. The farm garage, which is on the handout, the X closest to the county road, 150, we want that to be able to stay until July 1st of 2026, and then we'll remove that. As you indicated, no sidewalks. We don't want to have any sidewalks in the area. One, we don't think that's safe on Highway 2, and there are certainly no sidewalks to connect to anywhere in the area. So we would like a waiver of that requirement. And then lastly, when we were here in March of 23, there was a condition imposed upon one of the variances, and that was that we would build within 2 years. We would like that to be 4 years because we're nearly through that period of time already. So we would like to extend the condition within which to build up to 4 years relating back to March 23 of 2023.
An additional 2 years.
It's an additional 2 years. Yes, ma'am. That's our request.
Okay. At this time, I'd like to open this up to the public. Is anybody here that opposes this? That opposes this? Anybody in favor? At this time, I'll close the public meeting. With the additional 2 years, is there any issues with that?
I would just check with the building department, make sure Mike Haller is aware. You get approved, we approved it for additional 2 years. Date the permit accordingly. Just make sure it's on record.
Sure.
I don't know if they pulled a permit or not
Not yet.
for the house. Okay. Then
Not yet.
I'll
Oh, it
leave
should be,
in the
yeah, I
notes.
didn't know if you had a permit for the house yet or not.
That's fine.
All right. No, everything looks good, and at this time, I'll go ahead and approve.
Very good. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
At this time, I'd like to move the case number DV-2024-28, Justin and Lisa Wright, 920 North, 100 West, Chesterton. Rural Residential District, 19.57 acres, to allow a 50 by 80 accessory structure to vary from the following codes. To be placed within the 40-foot setback, placement of the accessory structure between primary structure and road, an increase of height from 20 feet to 20 feet to 23 feet. Can you please state your name and address, please?
Justin Wright, 8 West Shakespeare, Valparaiso, Indiana.
Tell us why you're requesting these variances.
So based on the lot configuration and the presence of wetlands and floodplains that we are unable to utilize, this is one of the few places we were able to put the building. So that's 2 of the variances, one being an ancillary structure closer to the road, and one being, I'm sorry, a little nervous. Within the 40-foot setback on the front side. And then the 20 to 23 feet, we do enjoy athletic activities, and we're gonna put a basketball hoop on one side of it so that we can play hoops in the winter, and that was the reason for the extension in the height.
We do have someone that's signed in.
At this time, I'd like to
Terry?
open the public meeting to Terry, or anybody else that is opposed.
Terry, there's a microphone over there if you want to come up and state your concerns, please. Your name and address for the record.
My name is Terry Dunn. I live at 119 West, 900 North, Chesterton, Indiana. My property backs his property, and my major concern is any of this building going to impede any drainage problems? We already have enough drainage problems coming from that direction now.
Okay. Anything else?
No.
Okay.
Thank you.
Do you have drainage issues out there?
We have added additional drain. We've added at the low spot between the properties, drain tile, and we have added 2 manholes to remove excess water, taking them back to the swell on the back side of the property.
Did you put in a complaint with the stormwater department regarding this? Has anybody contacted you?
They're supposed to be working on it, is what I was told.
Okay.
Is this going through the stormwater?
No. But if there's already issues out there, then they know about it.
Okay.
So, still with diligence and trying to take the water away from her.
Mhm.
So I think that's,
Right.
yeah.
At the lot line, the one that divides our property, we have a storm sewer there. If we need to add additional drain tile between the two properties, we are willing to do that.
Okay. We'll let stormwater know that. I appreciate that. Did you hear that, Terry? Okay. Is there anyone else that'd like to speak for or against this case?
This time I'll close the public meeting.
Why do you need it at 23 feet for basketball?
For basketball, be able to shoot baskets in the one side of the barn.
At this time, as long as you'll add the extra drainage onto there along with what you've done already, I think at this time we'll go ahead and approve.
But we will need you to sign a commitment letter for this whole barn, that no one's gonna be living in it, and you won't be renting it out for her.
Nope. I'm fine with that. And do I need to go up to, how do I sign that commitment letter?
Before you get your permit, there's a waiver, it's a commitment letter,
Okay.
we'll have you sign it.
Okay.
And nobody will be living on it, and you won't be running a business out of it.
And will that show up on the GIS website?
Are you?
Or do I need to go up to?
No, you'll go up there when you pick up your permit.
Okay.
Are you picking up your permit?
I can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or go up there and talk to the ladies. I'm sorry, what's it?
A couple of days.
Yeah.
Okay.
All the permits ready, and we'll have the letter with it.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. At this time, I'd like to move to case DV-2024-29, Jacob and Ashley Smithson, 100 West, Valparaiso, Indiana, 46385. A1, 57 plus .36 acres to allow for a proposed buildable lot to vary from the following. A reduction in minimum lot frontage. The code is 160 feet, the request is 20. A reduction in minimum front setback, the code is 50, request is 30. Okay, thank you.
All right, good afternoon again. Adam McAlpine, 398 East, 400 North.
Jake Smithson, 1994 Hidden Valley, Crown Point, Indiana.
All right. So working with my property owner, he and his family want to build a home. And so what I've provided to you is a site plan for that home is proposed to be located on page 1, and then on page 2, different viewpoints, three-dimensional views of the proposed home.
This is driveway.
The property is zoned rural residential, and based on that zoning, the minimum lot frontage is 160 feet. But the geometry of this lot is such that there is only a 20-foot strip of land that leads from 100 west and goes east a long stretch out to the property. In addition, there is a large portion of this land which is in a wetland conservation. So that limits where the home can be placed going east. In addition, there's a gas pipeline running northwesterly, which is owned by NIPSCO and is to be abandoned. There's, I think it's an active line presently, but long-term, the plan is that that would be become an abandoned pipeline. So what we advised with the client was, in order to move forward on your timeline, let's stay away from that pipeline and situate the home outside the wetlands. But based upon the size of the home and the orientation, how we show it here, we encroach into the 50-foot front yard setback. Although, keep in mind, it's hundreds of feet away from 100 West. So I was originally just viewed this as a side yard setback at 30 feet, and that's how I show it here. In coordination with staff, they said that it would need to come to this board for approval. And I still think it's not right up on the property line. It's an appropriate distance away from that property line. I'm showing it at 30 feet. The home itself is actually more than that, 37 feet to the actual face of the building. So those are the two variances. One is going from 160 feet frontage to 20 feet, and one is going from 50 feet front yard setback to a 30-foot. And meanwhile, avoiding the wetlands and the pipeline.
At this time, I'd like to open the meeting up to the public, or anybody that is opposed. Oh, I'm sorry. Dale?
Dale, when you come up, please state your name and address for the record.
My name is Dale Graber, 236 South, 200 West, Valparaiso, Indiana. I own the farm, both sides of this piece of property. I know Jake, and I'm not against Jake. My concern is, Jake came to me, this piece of property, I've known this family, it was owned by the Pavarnik family. This was put in a conservation program. Dan, who has died, and that's when I bought the farm, and Brett, Dan's son, got this piece of ground. He sold it to Jake. He didn't tell Jake that you couldn't put a house on there. Am I right, Jake?
Yeah, you can't put a house on the wetland easement.
Right.
Correct, yeah.
So Jake came to me and said, Dale, I would like to buy a piece. I said, well, Jake, I kind of bought this. I got 40 acres. I would like to sell it to give it to my kids. I have 5 kids. So I said, Jake, I'm not trying to be a jerk, but I can't. Okay. Now, my other concern is he forgot to mention they rerouted the pipeline. There's another pipeline there. That pipeline used to go right through this wetland. Well, NIPSCO decided that, and the conservation shut them down. So now they go along the whole backside of my piece of property and Brett's back here. So I've lost some ground too because of this pipeline. Now, my concern is, and I don't have a problem with Jake going back there. My concern is, okay, he's got a variance, he's got a roadway. What's going to happen when I decide my kids want to get 10 acres and 10 acres? Is this going to come and nip me in the butt? And that's why I'm voicing my concern today. I don't want, and I come before you guys and you shut me down. And I'm not trying to shut Jake down. He's got a great family, great kids. I would love to have him as a neighbor. I just have my concerns.
Sure.
And I want them heard.
What is your concerns with dividing your property later on? If you
I have 4 kids. It's 40 acres. So I'm just worried. I know how variances are. I'm too close to the road. You got to get back. Well, then I don't want to lose a lot or lose. You follow what I'm saying? That's my concern. I don't want to get nipped in the butt.
not anything with you right now.
No, and the right of way's there, but I know how, believe me, I've developed, I run heavy equipment. We've put in subdivisions. I know how it works. You're too close, you're too far. That's all I'm concerned with. I'm not against Jake at all. So I have concerns, and that's it. I just want that known. But the pipeline did get, they're going to abandon one. It's not for a while. They told me.
Yeah, like next.
Contact with NIPSCO probably another year and a half, maybe 2.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
If it ever came a time that you would want to build a house on any of the properties and it doesn't meet what the county has as requirements, then you would have to apply to the county for a variance.
Oh, I understand that, but that's why I'm saying something now, because there's a variance now, and you should have came to the meeting. That's why I'm here.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
That's why I'm here. So, and like I said, Jake, that'd be great. I love him as a neighbor. He's got a great family. I don't That's not my issue. I just don't want to get nipped in the bud when I say, hey, my daughter wants to build a house.
We might not be here.
Well, I might not be.
Right, so I can't guarantee anything.
I understand that, but I just want,
It will be on record
right,
for everybody else to see it.
that's,
Any concerns about it?
that's all. That's all I want. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it, Dale. Thank you.
Anyone else opposed? Anyone else up for this? At this time, we'll close the public meeting. I don't know if you can really respond to it or not. They're all, do you have any response?
Do you want to?
No response.
No, good.
I'll be happy to represent him in the future.
There you go.
And the drive, it's wide enough for your driveway?
Correct, yes.
Emergency vehicles can get down there?
Yeah.
I think with the way that you have the wetlands, the underground utilities,
Yeah.
there really is no other
It
option,
just makes it tough, yeah. And
right? And it's not like that where you're planning on building, you're gonna have neighbors right next to you or anything like that at that time. So
no, we're close.
at this time, I'll go ahead and approve.
I appreciate you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right.
At this time, I'd like to move to case number DV-2024-30, trust number 570 in care of Gary Whitcomb, 572 West US Highway 30, Valparaiso, Indiana, rural residential district, 6 acres to allow an increase in accessory structure height from a maximum height of 20 to 20.5 for a proposed 56 by 56 pole barn for personal storage. You
State
please.
your name and address for the record.
Yes, my name is Gary Whitcomb. I live at 572 West Highway 30. And my intent is to tear down an old barn, pole barn, 36 by 50, and replace it with a 56 by 56. Variance is that I'll be 25 and a half feet high. The existing barn is about 23 high now. No changes to watershed.
Okay. Should we go ahead and open it up? I'd like to open the hearing up to the public now for anybody opposed to this. And anybody in support of this. Please state your name and address when you come up to the microphone.
Yes, my name is Bernie Honer, 566 West US Highway 30. I own the property just to the east of Gary. We share the same driveway. I've got a 80 by 60 pole barn on my property that was built in 1970. It's 25 feet tall already, and our barns will only be like 65 feet apart. So I have no problem. It's going to conform to our neighborhood. So, yeah, so.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Is there anybody else who'd like to speak? At this time, we'll close the public meeting. Is there any way that you can come down to 25 feet?
So your neighbors, so you're not over your neighbors.
I don't believe so with the 56 by 56. I don't believe so. Milmar's going to be the builder.
Just state your name and address then, please.
Curtis Heyman with Milmar Buildings. Address is 324 North Cleveland Avenue, Bradley, Illinois. We could look at maybe the pitch, changing to do like a 312 pitch, get a little closer to it, but just with his needs for the height of the building, might be a little tough to get lower than that.
This could be, so it's not higher than neighbors? Or
Okay.
is it like
Too much higher. I believe
it's
his
5 inches.
5 inches taller Basically, is that what you're saying? Okay,
I've been.
got it. Okay.
Is that a possibility?
That might be possible. We can look at doing like a 312 pitch and do something like that. Try to get it closer to 25.
All right, thank you.
We can do that? Okay.
Yeah, and I know exactly where this is, and then and you have no neighbors around you except for Mr. Horner, and of course he agrees, which is a very good thing. So as long as you try your best to get it down about 5 more inches,
Okay.
this is all approved.
You will have to sign a commitment letter that no one will be living in it and no business will be run out of it.
No, nobody's gonna be living in it.
No, but at this time,
Cold storage,
yeah,
cold storage.
no, that's, yeah, if you can do your best at that,
Change it.
bring it down about 5 inches, and we'll go ahead and approve it at this time.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
This time it concludes the public meeting. Is there anybody here that has anything else that they want to bring in front of the board? Okay.
Meeting is adjourned. Thank you.
Good.